first principle is it's the most important principle of all. Because if a person isn't living authentically, then they're saying one thing and doing something else, and everyone else can see right through that. We all know that, and that person is often the last one to know that they aren't walking their own walk, so to speak. I'm sure that you've probably seen some of that.
I've seen a lot of that. Martha, it is, it's difficult. I have to say, as a woman, one of the ways, when you say walk the walk and who we are and so on, one of the things that goes way back to when I started, actually, as a county commissioner, that I have learned about being myself is there are experiences that I have, and we talk about this, the women in the Senate, experiences we have that are different than male colleagues. They're just different. I mean, how we view childcare. It's not a frill, right? How we view working with each other, or the issues that we think are important to be a part of the discussion. I go all the way back to when I started as a county commissioner and being in a room as a commissioner and feeling like, well, if I raise the issue of domestic violence, which at the time was not being talked about, this was the 70s, or childcare, I'll be stereotyped, right, as a woman. Mm-hmm. And then I realized if I didn't raise it, nobody was going to raise it. And that part of who I was and part of my responsibility was to bring in my experiences and the concerns of other women as well. And so part of being authentic for those of us who are in office as women is to embrace the fact that it is important that we represent the woman trying to start a small business, because the majority of capital does not go to women. And so even today, less than 10% of the capital being given out goes to small businesses that are women-owned. Or whether it's domestic violence or child care or whatever the issue is. And I have to say, it was those of us at the very beginning, when we brought forward something like domestic violence, and they weren't even keeping statistics. The sheriff, local law enforcement wasn't even keeping statistics, and we were pushing, and we got back, well, you're just saying that because you're a woman. And then the women would back up, and we finally realized, yeah, in fact, this is an issue of violence and victimization and so on. And as we kind of felt comfortable and got into our own about it, this has now become something that, of course, everybody supports. You can't imagine a time when we don't have domestic violence shelters or laws and so on. But at the beginning, there was this huge pushback on all of that because it was a women's issue. Yes. So in the political arena, we need to embrace all issues. In fact, all issues are women's issues, right?
That's great.
So,
that's great. Love that. Yeah. So,